I have the last mock draft with the best trades ever. One more time. Let's go. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pop Betting Presents, a new show that we're going to be starting getting used to the name Bird's Eye View. I am the host. I'm the CEO. I'm the president. Call me Moss Money. And new guy to the team. Still on that rookie phase. We still working out the kinks and everything. But our own mechanic, I just heard, putting McLarens in the air. You know, I got to take personal stuff and throw it out there. Ernie B, what's up, bro?
Another day in paradise, man. What's going on with you?
Hey, man, I can't call it. Same old, same old. Sixers lost, Phillies losing. So tough being a Philadelphia fan. I'll tell you that. So tough being a Philadelphia fan these days.
Yeah, it's
But we will get through
not
it.
even the refs. Not even the refs can help us out, and even they'll admit they're wrong. And it's like,
It was so bad, man. It was so obvious. I just didn't understand it. But that's for another show. We are here to give you our final mock draft of 2024. And lots of things have changed since our previous mock. Lots of things have gotten updated with medicals, trades. We're kind of already set already in the mock here. So let me get the mock up real quick and then we can get the show on the road. I feel it's safe, and you let me know if I'm wrong, Ernie. I feel it's safe that we could just start at pick 30. Just start at pick 30, right? One, two is already good. You know, let's just start at let's start at 3. It's already done.
Pick one is cat's out the bag. Pick 2, I got to see it, and I'll be honest with you. I got a real good buddy of mine who's a diehard Patriots fan who is his entire life right now is revolving around pick 2. So I think it's gonna be fun, man. I'm just excited for Thursday night. This is probably my favorite week of the year. I love this time. I love draft time more than anything. Looks like I just lost Moss there. So freestyle here. I love draft season. This is where teams separate themselves as far as being an NFL franchise goes. You have the teams that pay attention, you have the teams that don't pay attention, and you have the teams that pay the right guys to pay attention, the teams that don't pay the right guys to pay attention. You have some egos that, whatever. This is the craziest time of draft year. Draft season, not draft year. It is draft year because for some of us, we follow it year round. But this is going to be a fun show. We're getting into the mock. I just had to freestyle that for about 15 seconds.
I'll tell you, these damn kids, man, stop fucking streaming Fortnite, whatever they're doing. Stop.
God damn it. That was just merely a technical. He's out. He had to throw some big money down. All right, he had to shut the servers down, throw some big money down. But we're back. I held it down though. It's all right. You'll see it in the replay. I held it down right there. It was.
Yeah, I might have to do the audible on a couple things. So just stick with us, please. It's just terrible right now. But let me try it again. Share the mock. All right, let's just wait. We'll just wait, right? Okay, it loaded. All right, and let's switch up the look. I don't want to do too much to you right now, computer. All right, we're set.
Now when let it
think for a second.
Mock draft matchup.
Yeah, let it breathe for a second, man. I wanted to restart my computer. Is really what I wanted to do, but I was too long.
I'll be honest with you. I was standing there for a second. I was like, I'm gonna have to kind of just talk here for potentially.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's just let the people know what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Let us try this again. So, like you said, I'm gonna pick first because I'll probably be the first one to have the stream mess up on me again. But I'll pick first. and
So
we're going to go.
Moss Money has odds. I've got evens. We're going to go
Yes.
into a basic back and forth mock. We're going to try to include trades as the best as possible. Obviously, inhibited by technology if we are. But I think the easiest way to do this is, man, just go pick by pick. Let's try to give a short depth analysis of why you're making the pick. I'm assuming we're doing this in the position of the general manager of the team, not ourselves. So I mean, let's have fun with it.
I think I like a little bit of mix there. I would
If you
think
want
of
to go
it.
half and half, baby, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I like a little GM talking, but I like a lot of what makes sense to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as you all know who's watching out there, that this is a gambling platform. So we want to do what makes sense, and we'll add some gambling sense in terms of best bets. Obviously, betting on Williams to go number one is not a smart bet.
Yeah, there's no value.
Now there will be somebody who bets it though.
Yeah,
right.
Of course. But I mean, the top 10 is going to be our value. Look out for which positions we go first. We're going to try to note them as the best that we can. Other than that, I think it's cool to get the ball rolling here, dog. Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear, for those who do not know yet.
Yes, sir. He will be.
But he ain't a Chicago Bear without the noise, without the sound.
Yeah, I got you. Let's go, baby. With the first pick in the draft, the Chicago Bears to take. I always say his name the wrong way. I always want to say Khalid, but it's not. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Quarterback. USC.
Mr. No Agent himself.
You're on the clock, bro. Like I said, I think the first two are pretty. No, you know what? I wouldn't say the first two are pretty obvious, but what we've seen so far with the information coming out so far, I don't want to steal much of your thunder. It seems like there's a ongoing, drawn conclusion who's going to go to here.
I think the national media would tell us Jayden Daniels is the pick here.
Yep.
But for the sake of this mock, I do want to bring.
Oh no, you're not doing it to me, are you?
Hold on, I'm going to bring up a couple points here, okay?
Okay.
In my opinion, the Williams-May thing's been back and forth for a while during this cycle. Jayden Daniels, excuse me, I got to pull up my phone here, but Jayden Daniels is an interesting prospect, Heisman winner. I'm going to make a comparison here, and I already know Sharp's going to cuss me on the side for this, but if we look at since 2010, the oldest quarterbacks to come out, Daniels is number 9 at 23.3 as of May 1st would be his age. I see a guy that, I've heard the name Lamar Jackson thrown out for as far as comparison goes, and I'm not going to run too long on this. Just, I think it's absurd. I don't think you compare guys coming out to Lamar Jackson or Tyreek Hill. I think, freaks are freaks. And you don't compare somebody to that. So I'm going to throw a name out for Washington fans, and it's Robert Griffin III, and that's who I think that Jayden Daniels is. But I think that he can be better than Robert Griffin. I'm just saying, from a Heisman winner coming out, blah blah blah. I'm not going to run too much off on this, but we're going to go Jayden Daniels with the pick. But I just
RG3 was special that first year in Washington. Now,
and it's just what I
broke his leg.
Tell me you don't see a couple things aligning here. Like, it is what it is. We're gonna go Jayden Daniels here in Washington. It's for multiple reasons. I say for the media purposes of where we are today, but yeah, Daniels is gonna be the pick. And in 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select quarterback Jayden Daniels, LSU.
I like it. Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. We're starting to see the chatter. As you get close, obviously, there are a lot of heating of trading. And this is where the draft actually starts. At number 3.
Fun here, man. We can get fun.
And I think this is a fun spot to be for New England. And I think there's a lot of fires that always go when the draft, risers and fallers, people trading up, people hitting the horns. Kind of really interesting how fast social media is, because usually you wouldn't hear about people trading, I don't think, so far early. Like, we already know the teams that are looking at 3 at this point. We know
It's
it's the
yeah.
Giants and the Vikings are the 2 teams that are reportedly being hitting the phone for New England. Now, in my previous mock, May went 2, and Daniels was here. And I think I actually had odds in that mock too when I picked. And I think that when you look at the 2 and you look at all the quarterbacks, I think it's safe to say Drake might have the highest upside. And with that being said, I don't think New England moves here. I think Drake is their guy. I really do. I don't think the Vikings have enough to move up to get him.
I don't think Minnesota does. I don't think New York does. But
I
I
don't
think what Elliot Wolf, um, I can't remember if his title is head of football operations or whatever it is in New England, but regardless, post Bill Belichick era, um, it's they understand for those out there that are speculating otherwise, they understand how bad they are. Jonathan
Yep.
Kraft has become heavily involved, which was the plan all along. I'm pretty. I correct. If the world would correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Jonathan Kraft went through the same mentor program the NFL offers for owners' kids, the same thing that Julian Laurie did for Eagles fans. But it's a you're talking about a team like you said. You got Drake May sitting here staring at you in the face. You need everything. Where do you start? I mean, you could trade back and try to get a bunch of picks, but I just don't think there's an offer on the table that would
I
force them to
agree.
move away from where they're at right now. I just think they
Yeah.
look at themselves in the mirror and they say, you know what, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, and I don't think they thought they'd be in this. I don't think they thought Drake would drop to them, even though it's the 3rd pick. I think it was an outside chance. But now that is what seems like the consensus thing is to come up from 11 with the Vikings to get him. I know the draft calculator and the trade calculator, you can make it work, but I need at least 3 or 4 first round picks from the Vikings.
Well, then you start talking about, I mean, from Minnesota, and I'm not trying to go off onto a tangent here, but if New England wants anything, I'm talking Justin Jefferson, who's not under contract right now. And I'm saying, okay, we're going to take my franchise quarterback away. Well, I want your franchise cornerstone. And you
And
allow,
3 first round picks.
yeah, exactly. And 3 first round picks.
And
Like it's
3
not
first round picks. That's
yeah,
a that's a
there's
haul.
no in between. New England is in the driver's seat here, man. Like
Absolutely.
Chicago and Washington they don't want to move at all. I
They're
get it.
not.
There's a bunch of hate because a bunch of people hate the Patriots. Oh, blah blah blah. They don't like Tom Brady. They don't like this. They don't like that. Whatever. It is what it is. The organization hopefully is smart enough to realize where they are in their own position. It's fine. Jonathan Kraft has a much heavier role. Elliot Wolf is there. It's post Bill Belichick. But I do not see a franchise that doesn't somehow replicate what they have done over the past 20 so odd years with Bill Belichick at the helm, if that makes sense. I
No,
think his
it
influence
does.
carries over to a certain degree, whether that's positive or negative.
I just don't think you let Drake walk here to
Well,
get
and
some
you're,
offense.
it's just you got Drake May. I mean, he's right there in front of you. Get your quarterback, like I said. You can figure out
I
the rest
agree.
later. I mean,
I agree. I think, like I said, the draft starts here, but I think they try to move up, and I just don't think neither team has
I think
enough.
they hold teams hostage. They hold them in a corner. Say, what are you going to do? How much you got? Because this
Yeah,
team's offering this, whether they're offering it or not.
yeah.
I mean, New England's in a power position right now as far as that pick goes.
With the 3rd pick in the draft, the New England Patriots select Drake May. Fuck up everybody's mock. I got to get better at not cussing. My bad. F up everybody's mock. My apologies to all the people still watching out there.
I'll be honest
All
with you.
right.
I don't even know if I've cussed yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I haven't, and so I'm over you.
You are on the clock, bro.
Arizona Cardinals, arguably one of the worst rosters as a whole. I'm going to keep it straight to the point here. I actually saw a report. I think it was like an hour or so before we went live here, and it was that the Cardinals have a like hold of offers and that they're not willing to make a choice until the board falls to them. I
Yeah.
mean, duh. That's like the dumbest thing I've heard as far as like reports go for draft nonsense. I mean, you got a bad football team and you have a BPA. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player on the board here. We're talking about a generational wide receiver talent. We're talking about a Julio Jones caliber player. We're talking about Jamar Chase caliber player. Like, however you want to put it. I mean, the dude is a stud. And
Agree.
I'm just going to lock in my Larry Fitzgerald per se. You know, I mean, this is a team that had Larry Fitzgerald, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Like, yeah, we'll just go ahead and lock in Marvin Harrison.
Agreed.
So with the fourth pick in the 2024 NFL draft, can I get a look? Yep, there it is. It's got to be midway, too. The Arizona Cardinals select wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State.
Great pick.
The Ohio State.
So again, the draft gets a little bit interesting here, right? This is where some people feel like the Chargers don't really want to be in this spot. Joe Alt is right there. Neighbors is right there from receiver. I think that there's a little bit too much smoke and mirrors on JJ. I don't think that the Vikings are going to come up and get JJ. The Giants at 6 know that they're not taking that. You know, the
There's
Chargers
no
not
chance
taking
the Chargers
JJ.
it would be a friendly handshake deal, you know?
Yeah.
If anything.
So,
if anything.
With that being said, do I want to do a trade here? I thought about a trade here, but I'm thinking about who would come up for what. And the only person I can think of who would come up a couple spots here would be the Tennessee Titans at 7 to go get Joe Alt.
I like you. I like you leveraging the Chargers against the Titans here. I like that a lot, actually. If you give me a second, Titans. Curious to see what the Titans have here.
I'm trying to think who else might come up. Yeah, that's all that I would think that would come up.
Well, oof.
So I'm trying to. Let's do
just to give you a fun fact, 3 of Tennessee's 7 picks were actually acquired from Philadelphia in this year's cycle. So that's always fun. The Titans don't have a 3rd round pick. So I like the move. If you go to, you click that, go to LAC, and then pull up Tennessee. Tennessee would have to, they'd have to give up 38, and that would kind of pigeonhole them for a minute. And Rand Carthon's a guy that we don't really know much draft history about.
Now that we look at it,
look, there's a 3rd round hole there, and you're talking about future. So Tennessee immediately moves on to moving future capital, which to me seems kind of counterproductive for a team.
And not even that. The picks are very similar.
Yeah,
so you would think they would. I think because they're only missing 2 spots here, it would make sense for the Chargers to kind of get more assets. So maybe a 2nd round next year.
It'd be more like a 3. It's gonna see. That's the thing. Is like it's gonna. You could offer a 1 next year, and it probably won't even let it go, just based on. I think the problem is that format accounts for the player available to need, which would. Yeah, it would just basically make it
real quick. So, let me get out of there.
Impossible.
All right. Okay, I do think they trade out of this spot.
I think they do too. So let's just talk about potential trade suitors. I think Tennessee was 100% possible. The Giants,
for one
they
spot,
might get a little ballsy and decide that they may need to step into action because remember, the Chargers could leverage somebody else's offer against the Giants in order to get them to move up for JJ. I mean, this is the JJ pick per se.
I don't think. I disagree here. I don't think JJ. I don't think that you
You don't
trade
have
up for
to.
JJ. He's not a top 5 pick. There's no way.
Yeah,
He's a
but Joe
top
Alt
5
is.
pick.
And that's why I think Joe Alt, sitting where we're sitting, I mean, you put Joe Alt, I think I said this to you, when we first met, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater sounds like a freaking pretty dominant duo at tackle.
Uh-oh. I'm losing you?
No, sorry, I just
Okay.
caught note of Brock Bowers available. So
Yeah, I had Bowers going here before. Sharp,
I mean
Sharp,
Bowers, dude, it's not
Sharp, love that pick. There it is. Let's do it. Let me do it while we got it. So we'll trade. There's a trade. Tennessee trades with the Chargers.
okay.
They give up a 2025 third round pick. Might be a little bit off on that. That's fine, but the trade is a trade just for the mock. And the Tennessee Titans go Joe Alt.
I like the theory here. I like the fact that now our compensation is subject to the simulator. So, I mean, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I really like the fact that you leverage Tennessee, Chargers being like, well, we could take him, like, what do you have? And Tennessee desperately needs an offensive tackle. So, I mean, to basically tell Tennessee, like, what are you going to do? You going to take Alt or are you going to take Fashanu or Fuaga? I think that's a really good. I like that move.
Yeah. Sorry
Let
for everybody's
Ran
watching. I didn't hit
young GM kind of set his tone as far as like like where he's at in the league,
Yep. All right. The G-men are on the clock.
Oof. Well, Eagles fans, we're not happy. It's if the board's looking at me like it is. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and shake up the draft. We're gonna go ahead and lock this in. Go ahead and get give me my jingle. It's I'm going to do it, man. 2020 New York Giants select quarterback.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you because you said something I didn't like.
Oh no! It's
Say it again. Go ahead. What was the pick?
2024 NFL Draft. The New York Giants select quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
Oh no, it's not going like that.
I
don't think it's going like that.
I mean, what if we could take the pick back? But I mean, McCarthy here.
We can't.
If you give him to me, I mean, I'm gonna, I mean, if it falls right there, the New York Giants.
Yeah,
in the position that they're in, man. I just and seriously, like for the people out there, if things fall the way that we're talking, I just do not see a world in which they can turn down the grass is always greener kind of approach. I don't think they'll be able to turn it
down. Okay. I gotta respect it. I mean, they obviously need a quarterback, and I think this is a perfect scenario for the Chargers, right?
The Chargers are loving. Jim Harbaugh is grinning ear to ear in our mock. He is.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh is a very, very happy guy, and Tom Telesco is over there in Vegas, very upset about how this is all turning out. But yeah.
Yeah, he got a future asset. Whether that future asset that we mocked is correct, but we're walking away here with a key player at a key position at need, and we got an asset, and we got the same guy that we were looking at. And for me, where is he at?
We're missing a player.
Yeah, we are missing a player. Where's he at?
Where'd Neighbors go?
Where's Neighbors go? Right.
We didn't draft.
Wow. There he is. I was about to say, just lost. What a funny draft.
So I was sitting here like, wait a minute.
I was like, he didn't go.
I'm like, I didn't pick him.
With the 7th pick in the draft, the LA Chargers select Malik Neighbors, LSU receiver. All right. The Falcons are on the clock. This is another spot I heard can get really interesting. I've seen a couple mocks here. I've seen a couple of different players here.
I'm going to put it to the people like this. It's going to be a defensive player.
For sure.
It's going to be a defensive player. The Atlanta Falcons have one of the best offensive lines on paper. I said it in the AFC South preview, or NFC South preview, excuse me, and was laughed at by certain people. But the Atlanta Falcons have a really, really, really good offensive line on paper. They need to put it together. They've put some good seasons together. I have three guys I'm looking at. One's Dallas Turner. If you're mocking edge rushers, or if you're talking about edge rushers to the Atlanta Falcons, it needs to be noted that you're picking between Dallas Turner and Laiatu Latu based on scheme, not based on anything else. Jared Verse is a 4-3 defensive end. We'll be talking about him in about 40 seconds here. But it's interesting because you could talk corner. They have a need there, but I think that Atlanta doesn't try to get cute with anything here. They've done that in the past. Kyle Pitts, 4th overall, but Dallas Turner here. Go ahead and cue my music. We're gonna go. 2024 NFL draft. The Atlanta Falcons select Dallas Turner. I don't even know what they call it. Edge rusher, pass rusher now. Defensive end or outside linebacker. Alabama. And this is one of those things, honestly, man, I'm not too stoked about the pick. Like, it kind of is what it is. But I think it's like it just kind of dry because a lot of people have had him going there. But I don't know. I like the potential of, like, we could maybe see a Byron Murphy or Jer'Zhan Newton go here that early. I don't think they will. But Atlanta's a wild card, like you said.
Yeah, I think with Atlanta, I think you could I think with Atlanta, you could make it a case for Mitchell. I think that's where he might come off. I know the Eagles are trying to get him. We've already talked about that before. But I could really see Mitchell, Cohen here, and Turner kind of falling, and Verse kind of falling.
I could, but I could also see Turner just going, and then everything is just kind of aligned with how it aligns,
Yeah, C Sharp says it could be Turner or Chop for ATL.
Sharp chopping in on the live. I love it.
Yeah, man. Got a lot of folks out there on Twitterverse, man. Make sure you guys hit us up. Let us know who you think. Now, for me, for the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm not going to make the same mistake on my first mock. I'm switching gears here, and I'm just going to go with my gut. And Allen, DJ Moore, Williams, and with the 9th pick in the draft, the Chicago Bears select Rome Odunze, receiver, Washington. They are loading up on offense. And that's just the way I see it. I took Verse last time. I'm not doing it again. I think Rome is a great fit here. That's
Romeo or Rome. He's just like
Romeo. Romeo is a great fit here. May gives them that kind of big three in terms of their receiving core, and they do have who was our last Swift as the running back too. A lot of speed, a lot of talent. You try to you give your quarterback what he needs to be successful as best he can. So I really like this pick, and you got to look at the Chicago Bears as something to kind of be worried about in the next coming years coming up. So I really do like that pick.
Oh, I mean, we got to talk about this team. No,
JET.
Aaron Rodgers squad.
Jets.
Here we are, New York Jets. Joe Douglas, former Eagles front office man, drafting for his job right now.
Do you
I mean,
think so? He lost his quarterback. Like, oh, like what are you supposed to do there?
did you see they posted a thank you on their social
What, to
media
Zach Williams?
to Zach Wilson? But yes,
Wilson. Yeah, Zach
that's
Wilson.
how irrelevant he is that we don't need to know his last name. That's how. I mean,
I knew his last name. I'm just
he's
terrible with
that bad, man. He's that
I'm
bad.
so bad with names.
He's that bad, man. All right, but
Yeah.
he's in Denver now, so we got them coming up. I mean, but all right. The Jets. The Jets have acquired a lot of veteran offensive linemen so far through free agency and all that. But scroll down a little bit for me.
Sure.
Brock Bowers is a shiny toy here, but the name I want to see there, get past those corners. I think 15, no, 17 there. This is where some people are going to be funny. So you got Fashanu versus Fuanga. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet here. We're going to go. We're going to go Fashanu over Fuanga, and the only thing I'm going to note is
no JC Latham.
No. This is going to be a Joe All went 1. I'm going to go Fashanu 2. And this is kind of more directed towards how the Jets have their offensive line set up. This is a Rodgers play. The big 3 wide receivers are gone. And if Odunze was still here, then we'd be rushing to the podium to take Odunze. We're going to take Fashanu over Fuanga for a couple of reasons that we're not going to get too deep into. But this is going to be the pick. They're going to go with Lumiwa Baby Hands Fashanu. I don't know if you know that name. It's the way they're going to describe it. It's the way Goodell's going to say it. Exactly verbatim up to what I said.
Yeah. I think O-line for sure, but I like JC Latham here.
I love Latham and I love Fuanga, but this is what we would do and also what the team would do. And I want to put some things out there that I've been hearing lately, and I don't see Fashanu dipping as much as some people have had him recently. Somebody's going to pick him, right?
With the 11th pick, the Minnesota Vikings couldn't go up and get their guy.
They were robbed. They were robbed by the New York Giants.
They were robbed. And I don't know. So this is where our buddy Howie's on the lines. The problem is I don't know what he can offer them that would allow them to pick at 11. Maybe
Minnesota,
Denver is the spot for the Eagles to come up.
Minnesota's pride, you got to realize, in our mock, Minnesota's pride's hurt right now. So they've got to make a statement pick. You know what I mean? Like, this is a situation in which, their ego's been a little hurt. So trading back is not an option. Let's say that they had a full-fledged effort to trade up, and it was not, they're just going to make a pick, and it's going to be I don't know.
Well, you kind of threw me off because JJ was supposed to fall and he didn't.
I wasn't going to let that happen.
JJ wasn't where JJ was supposed to get past the Giants. I don't see them taking JJ just because I don't like his.
You can say what you want, man, but I'm telling you right now, it's.
Yeah, I just don't see JJ going to the Giants. I just don't see it.
So you got what you got here? Penix or Nix? And his name is not pronounced Penix. It's just I'm just saying that to be funny.
Yeah. They really, really, really want to go. I don't think Minnesota wants to be here without a quarterback on the board. They can go need here.
They don't have a corner. I mean, they just
that's what I'm looking. Mitchell's right.
They don't have a corner, and they just lost Danielle. So Danielle Hunter now plays for the Texans. They don't have a pass.
Yeah. Latu seems pretty enticing.
He's the most refined pass rusher in the draft.
Yeah, he seems pretty enticing. I think it's high a little bit for him, even though that all his medicals did check out. I still feel that certain GMs certain.
going to be some teams, man, that don't have him on their board purely based on medical.
Well, no, I don't. I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that the injury.
I can guarantee that there are
right?
teams that are going to not even have him on their board. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
no, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, but it was a neck injury, right? So you guys always have to be worried about the neck.
It was a neck fusion. So it was done by Dr. Murphy, I believe, who was a renowned NFL neck surgeon. But yeah, Laiatu Latu is a unique situation. But
with this pick, I think with the 11th pick in the draft, you know, the Minnesota Vikings will select the best player on the board. And unfortunately, Eagles fan, that's going to be Quinyon Mitchell, Toledo cornerback.
Stoutland University is not hurt. The Eagles themselves are butthurt, but Stoutland University stays intact.
I still think the Eagles could still trade up, even if Mitchell's off the board for Arnold.
Oh, I would 100% agree. I mean, you have Arnold.
Like, I think this is the spot, because they have to get, like, if
Denver doesn't have much left after Russell Wilson, and they have a lot more needs than they have assets to go, you know, fill those needs.
Are you pulling the trigger? Are we doing the trade?
I would offer I'd offer 22, 50, and like 161, I believe is the first fifth.
Yeah, let's do it. So we have a trade. The Eagles are coming up, and
we're gonna call this the Sharp special, because he's been calling it for months. But I mean,
he has been talking about it for a little bit.
It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of just read the writing on the walls here. And I'm not downplaying his prediction. I'm just saying, you know,
so you said fourth, and that fourth?
The fifth, 161.
Think so?
I don't know if that'll let it go through. I think that would go through in real life.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it goes. It'll go through.
Yeah, I would.
I think Denver wants more. I would think Denver would fight.
Denver would only want more if you tried to get 76. So because Howie doesn't have a third-round pick, you got to look at 76 as a leverage. They would obviously want to get 76 and try to add more, but I think this is where they argue back and settle.
Well, maybe maybe right. The fourth might be too, because fourth they got 120 and they got 121. So the fifth at 161. It gives them a little bit of ammo, and they can maybe.
Well, it gives Denver that fifth round freedom. You know, they're probably going to throw a little something in there. Maybe Howie gets an extra.
Get him back in there. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree. So your Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. Make the pick.
I'm wearing my Stoutland University shirt, so I would say we're taking no line here, but the board is falling to us, and the board's speaking to us. And I guess I could get on my David Akers here. Your Philadelphia Eagles are selecting cornerback Terrion Arnold, Alabama. Funny enough, man, I've actually been a fan of Terrion Arnold for a while now. He's one of my favorite players as far as just dynamic on the field. I mean, his personality, he just screams out like cornerback, NFL corner. I'm a big fan of Arnold, so to see him end up in Philly, I'd be a happy camper. Las Vegas Raiders, baby. One of my I don't know. The Raiders are just the Raiders, man. Who doesn't love the Raiders?
That's what are you about to say?
No, I mean, who doesn't love the Raiders, man? I mean, the Raiders. It's just they're just fun to watch what they do.
So I think the style of play that's kind of going to be coming out of the Raiders with Pierce there. I think the board fell beautiful for them, right? I think J.C. Latham is probably very high on their board, and he's available right here at 13, and I think it's a home run pick here. I think J.C. Latham might be
J.C. Latham. I have to ask you one thing.
Yeah,
J.C. Latham over Talisi Fuanga. Why? Is it because of the caliber of play?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the caliber of play that he plays. In what's that, SEC? Yeah, SEC. Versus out there Oregon State. I think Talisi's more Talisi Fuaga is I think he's more of a swing, right? Well, I believe he can play and so from what I've read, he can play both tackles, but he can be they're looking at him as a guard as well.
He he could play inside outside. His thing is he's got a bit of a how do I put this politely? It's emotional. He plays emotionally. Um,
Okay.
as a D lineman, I'm sure you can understand that he has some emotional reps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of just carries a guy to the ground a little bit further than he might need to.
He got a mean streak.
But it needs to be retained. All the physical ability is there for him to be a nasty Tongan tackle, but as far as his personality goes, there could be some things that could be reeled in. But I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Like if he ends up in midnight green, the Eagles are going to be very very happy because he's going to Jeff Stoutland University. But as far as like you're saying, like if you had Fulanga and Latham on the table, and you're the Raiders, like yeah, dude, I could totally see just having comfort in the Bama versatile offensive lineman.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. With the 13th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select J.C. Latham, O-lineman, Bama.
Oh, yeah.
The Saints are on the clock.
All right, well, you made the Saints wet dream here because they are deciding between Fuaga and Fontano, and they have like the biggest offensive line need.
Yeah, they do.
The offensive tackle. So we're going to keep this short and sweet. Talisi Fuanga out of Oregon State, one of my favorite offensive line prospects. I was not trying to talk down on him as far as the mean streak goes, but he is a guy that has a bit of a mean streak. I'd love to see how it converts to the NFL. And I think the Saints are getting they're getting a Saint player here. '24 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Talisi Fuanga with pick 17, offensive tackle, Oregon State.
Pick 14.
14. I'm sorry, I was reading 17 player overall.
Good pick. So the Indianapolis Colts are, again, they're in a really, really good spot here, and they get what we most consider a generational type player. I don't think I need to really explain the resume. We know what he is.
You should know the name.
I don't think he's the same. I think the production could be there. Now, granted, you got to give Peyton Manning all the credit in the world, but it would be that Dallas Clark, right? Type.
I've heard
kind of comparison a little bit. Yeah. Undersized. I think he's more athletic than Clark is, but I don't know Clark that much. I just know what he's in the field from a production wise. But obviously, completely different players in terms of behind center, right? With Anthony Richardson versus Peyton Manning, it's not even close.
But I think what Chris Ballard said, the GM of the Colts recently, where he said, "You get your guy, and then you surround him with weapons."
Yeah, yeah. They need it. They need it sorely, and they're getting a hell of a play here. I think this is where a lot of mocks have Bowers stopping the fall here. Maybe somebody comes up and gets him. I don't know. Oh man.
Hypothetical.
Ooh.
Bowers makes it.
Scare me for a second.
Eagles have picked. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
The 15th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia. Don't give him 44.
Yeah, you can't have 44.
You can't give him 44. You are on the clock, sir.
Seattle Seahawks. I'll tell you right now, Leatu Latu looking at us hurts. Jared Verse looking at us hurts. Byron Murphy looking at us hurts because we don't know what we want. This is like the best case scenario for Seattle. We need every single one of you. We'll go to this top three there. Right now, if I'm the GM of the Seahawks, which I believe his name's John Robinson. I hope I'm right on that. But we got Leatu Latu, Jared Verse, and Byron Murphy. As far as knowing the front office goes, Leatu Latu should not be of concern considering that they cleared DK Metcalf for I'm not going to say similar medical concerns because they're completely different, but some medical red flags that some teams, including the Eagles, had not had him included in their board. Jared Verse is a 4-3 defensive end. It's fairly scheme specific. I've said this before. Laiatu Latu is the most refined pass rusher in the draft. Byron Murphy, though, that's the name that kind of sticks out to me. And if there was going to be a name aside from that, it'd be Jerzon Newton, aka Johnny Newton, out of
Illinois.
And I'm actually going to go Byron Murphy here. So
I like the pick.
The edge rushers will fall, but I think they fall due to specific reasons. I think Verse falls because he's scheme specific, and then I think that Latu falls because of medical reasons. But Byron Murphy is going to be the pick here. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a safe thing. Go ahead and get us a pass rushing defensive tackle, a bit of a Grady Jarrett body type, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, I like it. There's the jingle.
2024 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks tackled Byron Murphy with the 16th overall pick.
I like it. I like it.
Defensive lineman, rather. I'm sorry to position him into tackle already.
So Jacksonville's really mad, kind of, because they were hoping the corner fell to him. But who was on that? I'm trying to think. Who's on the Jacksonville defensive line? Because I feel like
Walker and Josh Allen are the defensive ends, but General
they just signed Allen, right? They just gave him a massive contract.
Yeah, they did. But General Manager Nate, General Manager Moss. I hate to tell you, but Latu there is. You had a couple scouts that are pounding their table for you to turn the card in, but then you also have a couple scouts that are pounding the table for the receiver from LSU. So you just lost Calvin Ridley to division rival Tennessee Titans.
They did, but I mean, I don't want to say Gabe Davis is going to do anything.
Gabe Davis. So I mean, never mind. Just go ahead and just sell the jerseys out. Gabe Davis is.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to be here with
Dougie P. You got Dougie P. He's asking you. He says, "Hey, old friend, what are we doing? What are we taking?"
Yeah. I do like the edge here. Cooper's still out there as well, which would be interesting. But I don't think they need him though, because they got Darnell Savage. I think they just took a guy too last year late.
They got Tyson Campbell. That's who it
was, Campbell. So we're going to take a pass rusher, but I still think as they're going to go with the safer pick at this pick, in my opinion. And I have them taken with the board the way it is. Let's get my little music here. With the 17th pick in the draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select edge Jared Verse, FSU.
Oh, I love that.
Keeping him in the state, baby.
I love that pick because I 100% thought that you were going to take Laiatu Latu there. So here in Cincinnati, we're a little shook. We kind of thought that Jared Verse, was going to be there. Man, that's a fun. That's a scroll down a little bit for me. Let's see who I got. I got Latu, Brian Thomas, Cooper DeJean. Just go ahead and queue up Fatanu. So
I was about to say once you saw him, it was obvious. Well, once you saw Troy.
Yeah, once I saw big. Once you
saw Troy, the fact that he fell too. And I think
part of it was we kind of had a little bit of we were hesitant on the O-line run, which I think we did a little different there. But I mean, it is what it is. It shows how we think as couch GMs. But yeah, we're gonna go Fontanu here. It's a pick 18. So 2024 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select offensive lineman Troy Fautanu out of Washington with the 18th overall selection. if we're the Bengals, we're extremely happy about this. I mean, and so is Joe Burrow. We finally gave him a piece that's going to help him out.
I think that was a steal of a pick, to be honest.
I think that
if you think about it, I don't think they had him on on their board. I'm sorry. I don't think they had him here.
It's the point, and they literally like poop their pants when Fautano's there, and they just sit there and look at the GM and go, "What do we do?" You know, like, yeah, you turn the pick in.
But and you know what? It's because it's Fasciano from Penn State.
And this is the thing with me, man. I said this at the beginning. I would not be surprised if Fasciano or Fashanu, whichever way you say it, is picked higher than most think, just because in the beginning of the summer, that's who we were talking about as offensive tackle 1,
Mm-hmm.
And I just think some of that hype and some of that I don't know, some of that stature carries along.
Yeah, no, I agree. So interesting here, right? The biggest, obviously, need is edge or D line, with the retirement of possibly the greatest defensive lineman to ever play, Aaron Donald.
That's from a defensive lineman. That's not from an offensive lineman.
So, but I think at this point, the fall stops for Latu. They keep him home. It's a need, and if you're the Rams, you feel like you got not possibly. He is the best D lineman in the draft from an edge rushing standpoint.
From purely tape, let's take away body medical out of it. He is the best pass rush prospect in the class.
In the draft, yes. I completely agree. And they surely need it. I know a lot of people have.
You put the king of LA out with the Rams. I mean, let it happen.
Yeah, I think defensive lineman Newton could be here, interior. But I thought I forget his name. I got to look his name up. I thought their defensive tackle that they had, I think they just re-signed him. He actually had a decent, year. He was actually pretty good. I think they go with
Kobe Turner was their rookie.
Was it Turner? Was that his last name?
Turner was the rookie.
I thought it was like Robinson or something off the top of my head.
Talking about A'Shawn Robinson?
Nah, he just leave. I thought he just left.
Panthers now. But,
he just left.
Defensive line, interior defensive line, they're a little short. I mean, Byron Young is their pass rusher. I mean, yeah, you're
Did you say Deshaun Johnson? Is that what you said?
No, I got Byron Young is the edge rusher out of where he went to school. Tennessee. That's right. And then Kobe Turner, Bobby Brown, and DeJuan Johnson. But DeJuan Johnson not doing a name that should be recognized by most.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we won't spend too much time on it, but
I mean the Rams are going to be feisty because of Peyton, but I mean they had Latu. They're extremely happy. I mean,
absolutely.
Here.
The Steelers are on the clock.
I mean, I hate this pick because I don't want him to be here, but I hate, and it's also because I just can't stand when Iowa players are projected to play for the Steelers because it's just like the jersey swaps are so easy that it just doesn't.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even go. I didn't even scroll down anymore because I already knew.
Yeah, I mean it's Cooper DeJean here.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
The defensive back chess piece himself. Yeah, I mean Mike Tomlin is going to get a guy that's gonna. I mean Cooper DeJean, Minkah Fitzpatrick back there is going to be pretty fun. So here we are with the 2024 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select defensive back Cooper DeJean, Iowa. And they're going to specify that on draft night. I don't even know if they're going to call him a quarterback.
He's a Steeler, man. He's a
yeah.
Like, we've talked about it for weeks. It's just certain players like Ravens, the Steelers, Seattle. They're just who they are. You can just see the makeup.
They just give guys that are just kind of built to play for them.
Yeah, I think this is another trade spot for Miami. Miami needs some draft capital, in my opinion. The
They
question
do.
is, who's going to come up and come up for what? I think you
Well,
come up for a receiver.
Thomas or
I think it's either Mitchell or Thomas. But it's really interesting with
why would Miami trade with Buffalo? You know what I mean?
yeah, I wasn't thinking Buffalo.
Buffalo or
Um,
Kansas City are trade up candidates, and they would have to
well,
over.
you know what? I was thinking where are they picking? What I because I wrote it down. I was actually thinking the Cardinals
You know who
coming back
actually a
in
name that I throw out here is the Panthers.
or the Panthers. The Panthers
You give
would
up
be
pick
the
33.
Panthers would be a really good spot. They would need to
You give
yeah,
up pick 33 and a little bit of change in order
yeah,
to.
let's do it. Let's shake it. Let's shake it up a little. I wasn't thinking about the Panthers, but the Panthers make a
Panthers
lot
trade
of
up for
sense.
Brian Thomas. You know what I mean? They go out.
Yeah.
You know what? Screw this. Xavier Legette may or may not be there. We don't trust it.
So they're gonna have to give up. Damn, they're coming up far, so they're gonna have to give
With
up
12 picks, I'd offer that
at
third
least that second
because
and
they
third.
don't
Where
have
are we
a
at right
third.
now? I think they probably have to give up maybe a fifth too to go jump.
You'd be
That's
surprised,
a
man. That
that's
third
a lot of.
weighs a
That's
lot.
what we dropping like 15 picks almost, right?
Yeah,
15
that's
spots.
you got. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got.
It doesn't. It really doesn't matter because we're only doing round one. So I'll just
Well, yeah. I mean, but yeah,
yeah.
that's I could see that happening.
Yeah, I now whether it's
The comp is not. We're not going to get cute over the comp because
yeah, exactly.
we're subject to the simulator. But I mean, yeah.
I'll
I
just
mean, you got to
ease on
give
me.
up that 3. My only stipulation is you got to give up that 3 if you're Carolina.
Yeah, for sure,
Miami
for
doesn't
sure.
have it. You got to give it up, and maybe Miami gives up some late round capital to you because you need picks now.
Let me try it again because it seemed like it kind of froze
Yeah, I
me,
told you that the trade stuff is just obnoxious.
and I don't want to.
If you click it,
Even though it would make sense that Minnesota, actually,
could come up for a
I mean, I'm
quarter.
not. I'm sorry, not Minnesota. Miami actually takes a receiver because every time they lose one of their receivers, like that whole offense like gets weird. Um, if Cheetah goes down, the other one can't really stay up. Like they need that because I think who's it? Is it it's McDaniels. Who else is over there? I thought there was another. No, that was somebody else. I think that was the Cardinals. I was thinking about because the Cardinals run. I think it's Callahan over there from Cincinnati.
Callahan with the Titans.
Titans. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Callahan got the runs the damn Cincinnati offense over in the Titans.
Yeah, never mind. So all right. So it's not letting me do it.
See if well, yeah, it's just gonna the simulator's just gonna keep fucking up.
Yeah, it's we did too many tricks.
33, so you could technically just take the player off the board. And
yeah, I'm gonna take the player off the board because I have a trade here, and for the sake of time,
we got the Panthers coming up. I mean,
yeah.
Let's just say the Panthers into the first, Dolphins out of the first. It just kind of.
Yeah, it just makes sense. With the 21st pick, the trade, Carolina Panthers on the clock, and the Carolina Panthers will take Brian Thomas Jr., receiver, LSU. And they need it in the worst way. Jesus, they need it in the worst way.
Now, this is kind of fun.
Denver Broncos are on the clock.
So we traded back with that super, super trustworthy human being by the name of Howie Roseman out there in Philadelphia. He just sold us on a great deal. So here I am. I'm at 22. It's quarterback. I mean, it's I don't care what we picked up from Philadelphia. It's quarterback. Bo Nix to Michael Penix. While a lot of people have connected Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos, oh man, I'm gonna take screw it. We're gonna take Michael Penix Jr. here.
Interesting.
And we're gonna do this because we just feel like we were gonna wait for Nix, but now we're just gonna say screw it. Penix is there in front of us. the grade is almost equal. We're just going to take the player.
He was always going to be there, though. This scenario was always, regardless if they traded back or not, this scenario was always going to be there.
They were. It's a matter at which weight they were willing to carry the con, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Are we talking about it at 12? Are we talking about it at 22? Are we talking about it at 32? You know, where are we at? But we're gonna go Penix Jr. Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. 2024 NFL Draft. The Denver Broncos select quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Washington. We're just going to go and get a guy. You know, it's a late first. I mean, they're happy about it.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings are.
No, the Vikings are very mad at me right now because I have now spoiled a couple quarterback picks for the Vikings twice in a row. I have a vendetta against the Minnesota Vikings that I'm not aware of, but
yeah, I don't think the Vikings are very happy with you right now.
What are you talking about? I gave them Amarius Mims and Nate Wiggins. I don't know what else they want.
So, wow.
Now you have to ask yourself a serious question here. How much do you value Bo Nix over Spencer Rattler?
I don't think they're taking quarterback here.
That's what I'm about to say.
Yeah, like if Penix was there, then I think in my last mock I actually had Penix fell and they took him at 23, but we didn't do any like all the crazy trades we've been doing. This is obviously fantasy football, kind of having fun with it. But still kind of like you said, kind of keep our GM couch.
This is the NFL GM mixed with money pot. You know what I mean? Like we're free time.
I don't think they go back to back corner. That doesn't make sense to me. You know,
they don't need it because they have enough belief in Andrew Booth and all that. I mean,
Newton makes a lot of sense here, but I think this is pretty high. So does Robinson. But you know, even though you don't have a quarterback, I mean, we're still gonna have to have some players here. No, you don't, because you got what's the boy's name? The other receiver for Minnesota is it begins with the A.
You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
Addison, that's what it is. Addison.
Yeah. Out of USC, Pittsburgh to USC.
Yeah, I was thinking Adonai Mitchell here, but I don't think that makes sense either, too. I'm gonna go with the needs that we have here: QB, D line, interior offensive line. Are the top needs.
The name I'm going to throw out here is Graham Barton out of Duke.
Yeah, that's who I was looking at.
Started all five positions at one point. And if you're just a franchise that kind of has a blank piece of paper in front of you, and you just kind of need to fill positions, Amarius Mims is an 8-star guy. Nate Wiggins is a rail of an outside corner. McKinstry.
I don't think they go corner in the first round.
Well, yeah. So I mean, you can take Wiggins and McKinstry completely off it. So you jump from Amarius Mims to Graham Barton. I mean,
they don't want to be
Amarius Mims is a total project.
They don't want to be at 20 right now.
The way that I look at Amarius Mims is like, okay, imagine if you knew Jordan Mailata was going to be sweet. You know what I mean? Like, but he needed some work, and like he just happened to go to Georgia or whatever. Like Amarius Mims is a physical freak. Now, can that be turned into a great offensive lineman? Time will tell. But Graham Barton's been there, done that. You're talking about a team.
Yeah, I think it's Barton. That's what I was looking at. I think the draft
player too, man. I've heard from multiple NFL insiders, and this is not things that are just flown out to the media. Like Graham Barton is going in the first round, but so is Jer'Zhan Newton. Like Graham Barton, I've heard he's up there for a lot of teams, but I've heard there's no way Johnny Newton falls out of the first round.
Yeah, no, Newton is a disruptor, man. He's an absolute dog. He is a disruptor.
I don't know about you, but I don't mind when my defensive linemen freestyle a little bit. I know that it's, gap integrity and all that, but Jalen Carter wouldn't be Jalen Carter if he didn't have a little freestyle in his game.
Yeah, let me look at that roster real quick. I just want to see it real quick. Bear with me, everybody. I mean, they went 7-10 with kind of nobody. So I just want to see who's on that who on that defensive line. I mean, they didn't get, they had Donald and then Mullins. Like, that offensive line was, semi okay. It wasn't like the worst.
Well, Darisaw is a Darisaul's a stud. Brian O'Neill's at the end of his career. Garrett
They got
Bradbury was a bust. So I think
Greenard,
that the Graham Barton thing might scare him a little bit.
Harrison
They did
Phillips.
invest into an ACC interior offensive lineman in the first round, and they got fucked. Excuse me. They got excuse me. Pardon my cursing. They got
Effed.
all right. That's a good. Can I say screwed?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they got screwed. All right, there we go. Ernie B works in his cursing. Episode 4. No.
All right. I won't spin my wheels too much on it. I know where I'm going to go.
What's your gut telling you, though, for real?
After I looked at their roster, my gut's telling me with the 23rd pick in the draft, the Minnesota Vikings are going to take Graham Barton if he's on the board.
Good pick. Good pick.
Newton was a very close, but
I was about to say, I kind of thought you were going to pivot to Jazon Newton there, but
yeah, they spent some money on D-line already, I think, a little bit. And looking at that roster, they could use some help on the offensive line, looking at the guys that are already there. Keesenberry's, solid. Oh, man, my screen just went. But I think and then not even that, like Mullins didn't they weren't horrific, in terms of giving up, too many sacks. But, Mullins, there was a couple games Mullins got, beat up almost 4 sacks, I think.
Well, I mean, you got to think. You got to think if they could just add a guy, and the reason why they're as a draft analyst and what they want to, whatever name they want to give the people that follow the stuff at a hyper level. One thing I want to say about Graham Barton is I'm not talking about you're drafting your average interior offensive lineman in the first round. He started at all 5 positions in college at a Power 5 school. I get it's Duke, and I have openly said that I am a Duke University fan, but the big thing I think is just the offensive line versatility, and the measurements fit that. You're talking about a guy that's a plug and play starting NFL offensive lineman. At what position? We'll find out.
Yeah.
So
oh wow,
the team that shall not be named. Big we're in Jerry's world. All right. Let me take a couple shots here and figure out, take a couple shots, go smoke a cigarette, and then we'll get back and talk about what Jerry would do, because that's how he does his process. This team takes BPA, man. And I think that it's about impossible for them to look at this situation. I mean, they got a hit on Deron Bland out of the 5th at corner. I mean, we got Nate Wiggins. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry sitting there looking at me. I got Jazon Newton, but I just invested a first in Mozzie Smith. I got a 3rd in Osa Digizua. I think this is kind of going to the offensive line here where I've got some age. We just lost Tyron Smith, who during his prime was one of the best left tackles in football. Our offensive line is currently looking at Tyler Smith, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, Zach Martin, still a very good football player, and Terrence Steele, who's had some ups and downs. I think Dallas is going to go ahead and plug and play. We're going to take BPA, and it's the best offensive lineman on the board. That's Amarius Mims. I spoke about him previously in a positive sense that I think he is a freak of nature physically. And I used Jordan Mailata as an example, as a comparison, just because he's only started 8 games. So I used Mailata as a raw, minimal production, kind of example. But the guy's, he's tall as shit. I mean, let me get Amarius Mims measurements here from the combine. He's huge. So let's see. In the 2024 NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys select offensive lineman Amarius Mims out of Georgia. We're talking 6'8", 340 pounds, 36 1/8 inch arms, and 11 1/4 inch hands. The dude's a human freak of nature. Let's just see if he can put it all together with the right coaching. No comments on my Dallas Cowboys pick, huh?
No, not at all.
I mean, Jerry would do that too. He would just sit there and be like, "Oh, hey, here's the
I don't know
biggest."
if Jerry wants to pick there,
He
to be honest.
at the end of the day, man, it's kind of what Steven wants to do right now. We're not going to get into that, but yeah, I think if he had to pull his if he could pull his Al Davis, then yeah, he would trade out for all the picks in the world because he's going all in.
Yeah, I think this pick for me is, obviously it comes down to the two corners here. And personally, this is where I take the GM hat off. I'm not a big fan of kind of slender type corners, even though most of them are all slender. But I think Kool-Aid plays a little bit more press than Wiggins does. And I think Kool-Aid does what I was gonna say. I think it's Alexander. Who's the other corner? I thought the other corner was actually pretty good.
So in 2021,
For
they drafted Eric Stokes.
Stokes, that's what it was.
That's actually that's a boy of mine. Not personally, but it's a buddy of mine's homie, Eric Stokes. He's a cool dude, really good dude. But he's actually better fit as a nickel, so they really don't have an outside cornerback opposite Jair Alexander today that I would feel
Yeah,
comfortable with. I mean, Stokes is much more. He's a really, really, really good nickel corner. He's good on the outside, but I mean, he projected the nickel much higher.
right, right. So, and they do play some press, and they do play a lot of man. I think that
I
is
think
more.
I think what you're looking at, man. I know you don't like Nate Wiggins' size. And Nate Wiggins is a guy that I'm not very much of a fan of the slender build. But if you
Mhm.
want a first man corner out of these two, you're taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that somewhere,
But
somewhere.
I'm just reiterating the fact. I'm just telling you. I mean, Kool-Aid is the press man corner out of these two.
Yeah.
One of the best in the class.
With the 25th pick in the 2024 draft, the Green Bay Packers select Kool-Aid McKinstry, corner, Alabama. Roll Tide. The Bucks are on the clock.
Tampa 2-time. We just paid Baker Mayfield. So Jason Light, man. Jason Light always goes BPA. Yeah, give me that feller I was just talking crap about. Give me that little feller. Yeah,
Nate,
Kalijah Nancy in the first. I can't invest another top asset in defensive line. I got Jazon Newton looking at me, and let's just hypothetically say we had a great pre-draft visit with Johnny Newton, but unfortunately, need outweighs everything else here. We have Jamel Dean. We really like Zion McCollum on the outside, but man, we just got to invest where we got to invest. So 2024 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select cornerback Nate Wiggins, Clemson University with the 26th overall pick. Click and close speed is through the roof, but he's built like Emmanuel Forbes, and I saw what A.J. Brown did to Emmanuel Forbes, so it is what it is.
So, Arizona Cardinals. Chop is very, very enticing here. But so is Adonai Mitchell. Oh my God.
Well, you got Marvin. I mean, you
You got Marv, but I mean, you took me back, right? You took me back to Larry, and what's his name? He was just as good.
One of the greatest undersized receivers of all time.
Yes, tough. Went to Baltimore, Bolden. That's right.
Anquan Bolden.
We're bring it back. I've seen something. I'm actually a big fan of Chop. I think, but I don't know if he's an every down player yet.
But you're remember you're talking about a 5-2 front. So you're talking about a front that's, there's a walk down pass rusher in this front that needs hyper athletic ability, a la, Hassan Reddick.
I agree. But my thought is that
You also don't have a reliable center, and Jackson Powers Johnson is staring you in the face.
yeah, that would be a really good pick too.
It would be, but I mean, it would be.
Yeah, I don't know if they go center here.
Or interior offensive line, be more general.
Let me see real quick. Murray, who we got here? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I think they might mess around and do it. I think right here, if you're the Cardinals, you need talent. You just need more talent, and you're not getting off of Kyle Murray. So, just the way the board fell to you, you're going to double dip, and I think here with the 27th pick, it's a little unconventional. Probably it's been a while since this has been done, but with the 27th pick in the draft, I think it's just too big of a to give up. Give me a Donnie Mitchell.
A glaring hole on the roster. Moss Money won't let it pass. He said,
Ah.
not one, but you need two.
Yeah, you need two. And
let 'em
Buffalo
grow together.
is sick to their stomach right now.
And let them grow together. I don't look, man. This is why I told you earlier. The more the merrier when it comes to mocking, man. Well, you just made my day.
Force Buffalo to reach for a receiver.
Oh, Buffalo! This is gonna be simple with Buffalo.
This is sick for Buffalo.
No, we're not. We're not because we've pivoted.
Okay,
we've pivoted here.
All right, talk to me.
We have a few picks in this class. Right, a few picks in this draft. I know you got to set as a first round, but the Bills have a lot of picks. I think it might be 11 picks or something like that. They've got a lot of picks.
Yeah.
And things didn't fall our way. Now, we were interested in trading up a little bit. We've even flirted with trading back, but now we got to stick and pick. Let's just say we got to stick and pick. I like pairing up Johnny Newton with Ed Oliver. I really do. Now, I also like Chop Robinson here because I got an aging Von Miller. I got a Greg Russo that's due to be paid, and I just brought back AJ Epinesa on a team-friendly deal. But I only have 5 DTs on roster, and 2 of them have been brought in via free agency. I'm going 28th overall pick of the NFL, the 2024 NFL Draft. The Buffalo Bills select defensive lineman Jerzon Newton, Illinois. I think this is a build through the trenches type of pick. And I think that's it's taking BPA at either defensive line or offensive line. And I think that they basically just look at it as like, you know what, screw it. The guy's there. We're not going to get cute here and force a wide receiver pick. I think if AD Mitchell was there, then yeah, they make the pick. But if he's not there, you go back to your core values.
Yeah, I like the pick. And I think the value is, there. I think talent wise, I think it's really Newton starting to rise, and he could arguably be a top 10 pick.
Lineman go into another cold environment. You know what I mean? I know it's gets pretty cold in Illinois, but it's different level cold in Buffalo. I just think that's a safe pick for them.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, and Detroit's happy at how the board looks. I think
Detroit's got a little freedom here, Mr. General Manager. You got a little freedom.
You got a little freedom, but I honestly think it's staring you right in the face, and I don't have to go far down. I mocked this in my draft before, the way the board kind of fell, and if the board falls like this again, I absolutely love Chop Robinson for the Detroit Lions. I absolutely do. Him opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and let him grow. It just and I know they don't run a 3-4, but I mean we've seen Hutchinson rush standing up. And they allow these rushers to rush from that 2-point stand.
Aaron Glenn is they ran it. They used to run but what they run is a very it's badass is what it is. They've got a dominant defensive front, and adding Chop Robinson to that with Aiden Hutchinson and just the movable pieces. I think something that's really cool to talk about Detroit's defense is what you're talking about, the position that you're filling with a first round talent, is how much production they've gotten out of guys at that position. Like look at the guys outside of Aiden Hutchinson that have racked up sacks for the Detroit Lions. Like they have gotten production out of guys, and it's to add a name a first round name into that kind of, mix, add him into that pool, I love it for Detroit.
With the 29th pick in the 2024 draft, the Detroit Lions select Chop Robertson, edge. We are Penn State.
I love it.
B Moore on the clock.
Ah, man. I'm a big I love my boy Lamar, man. So I personally called him. I said, "What do you want, man?" I said, "What are we doing?" He said, "God damn it, coach, I need some protection." So
Absolutely.
So Linderbaum, it's funny that we're sitting here where we're at because you have Jackson Powers Johnson, who is a semi-injured interior offensive lineman, and you have Tyler Guyton, who's a low start, high projection offensive tackle, and you got. This is where we start to talk about Xavier Worthy, potentially that receiver, but the way that I was taught to view things as Baltimore.
They just got Hollywood, though. I think they're kind of the same player, similar player at least.
Well, yeah, and this is the thing with Baltimore, man. They choose to look at things in their own way. The way that they developed their board and how they do things is the way they do things, and they tend to take BPA. Jackson Powers Johnson is not going to be the pick here. The Baltimore Ravens are going to take Tyler Guyton, and this is not about non-belief in Daniel Falele. This is just purely about Ronnie Stanley's age, the lack of experience with Falele. They just want to add bodies to the mix, and adding a first-round talent to that mix. Baltimore is one of the few teams in the NFL that's okay with drafting a guy in the first round and letting him sit. So that's where we're going to go. 2024 NFL Draft. Baltimore Ravens select offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma. Ravens fans, no matter what, they'll find a way to love this pick.
Yeah, I agree. Ravens typically draft Raven type players, and I think that's what guy.
Yeah, he's a freak of a size offensive lineman. They're just going to make it work.
So San Francisco really doesn't have a lot of holes. They could get back.
This one. We just skip this. Do we get to skip this pick? Just let them
skip this pick. It's like the rich getting richer. I know there is some, rumors or not rumors, but it's been reported that Ayuk has asked for a trade. So we'll see how that goes. I know Lynch came out and he says we want him to be a Niner for life. So they'll probably get a deal done of somewhat, I would think. I don't think they let him go out here. But I think in this spot, a name that I saw when I was kind of doing my research here for our draft was somebody who's been rising up the boards really, really fast. And there's always one guy. And once I found him, and that's Max Melton from Rutgers. Now, I'm just going off what I read.
Guys here, man. You're talking about one of Sharp's guys here, Max Melton.
Yeah, I'm just going off what I've read and seen. I don't know much about him, but from what I know, his measurables stack up against with any corner in this draft. From my understanding,
Max Melton's my 5th overall corner in this class. So,
and I think and if you like length with corners, which a lot of people do, I think I've also read that he has the
arm length. His arm length is at a pretty high percentile. His build is more statured, stocky, but he's got long arms. I mean, he's what you want for corner.
So I think if you look at this roster, the one spot that you could say, as long as Ayuk stays where they could be lacking is, that back half of corners, and you can use some talent here. So it's a little bit of reach, but I think he's rising fast on people's boards. Like you said, Sharp has already kind of eyed him up already from before, and he's seems like he is going to be a first round talent and pick. So with the 31st pick, in the 2024 draft, the San Francisco Winers select Max Melton, corner, Rutgers.
One slight insult. It's all that matters. That's all we have to do.
Yeah. Rich get richer, man. If they can, you know,
If they get Max Melton, dude, if they get Max Melton and you called that, I'm gonna be so happy for you. Like you have no idea. Like that's awesome. Like seriously, like that's one of those things. Like I would be so happy. All right, Kansas City Chiefs.
Take us home.
I was gonna say another word there that rhymes with that, but this is a child-friendly show.
Child-friendly show.
What am I talking about here? It's Carson Wentz's new team. Okay, this is the Carson Wentzian Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh
wow. What it's like to be so fantastically gifted as a roster that you get to act like this. All right, they're gonna do it. Screw it,
lad.
Yeah, give me. Actually, wow, this is kind of hard.
You know who? You know,
Darius Robinson, or Lad McConkey are pointing out to me. Troy Franklin, yeah, I like.
I'm about to say Troy. Troy is interesting, right? And so is
Lad's there, he won't. Yeah, if Lad's there, he won't go. But if Lad happened to be gone, then yeah, he'd be in play. But and Worthy's in play too. You know what? Screw it. We're going wide receiver. Kansas City Chiefs 2024 NFL Draft. The Kansas City Chiefs select wide receiver Xavier Worthy, Texas. The 40-yard dash record breaker. Let's have some fun. Put Xavier Worthy there.
Yuck.
It's the Chiefs.
It is the Chiefs.
The worst part is we can do the draft, and then at the end of the draft we can say yuck, and then we go back 5 years later from now, and we're like, really? They got that all right? Like that 7th round corner at Fayetteville State, he's good? It was like, damn, all right.
Yeah.
That 7th round running back out of Rutgers, he's good? Yeah. Turns out
yeah, I think I enjoyed running through you. You threw me. I think what threw me off was your JJ pick to the Giants. I just don't see that at all. That threw me off. But other than that, I think we were kind of spot on.
Look, I think we were crippled by, we're subject to the simulator. It is what it is until one of us figures out how to code our own NFL mock draft simulator. It is what it is. But I thought we did a great job, man. I mean, I think from a betting perspective, just go back and look at the picks and count the amount of guys that we had going in, in the first round. It is what it is. I mean, things are going to change. We spoke on trades that were very potential. We also spoke on trades that could happen. And we still had a little fun with it, which I think is the freedom aspect that has to happen with these mock drafts.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we've done 3. I think we've done 3 or 4 of the mocks, and I've been on all of them. And there's been some picks that I think have been kind of similar. I think the craziest pick, I think my pick was probably Bowers at 5, because I was trying to make the whole Herbert and Bowers like Mahomes and Kelsey type deal, but I think we all know that's going to be way off. But Sharp has been pretty spot on, giving you everybody the cliff notes with the Eagles trading up. And now we know the Eagles always trade up, so it's not a big deal. But calling who the Eagles are going to trade up with and for what player, spot on with that. Yourself, obviously with the times of JJ possibly going in the top 5, top 6, that's being called on a lot. So I think that where we are right now in our mock, I think we're in a really good spot to be able to make some bets and seeing some different things. So once we get a better understanding for tomorrow, I'll drop some of our best bets. But that's a good, I should have looked at it, like how many receivers we had. If Xavier went in the first round,
we would have only had 5.
Was it 5?
Well, no. Did you have Mitchell? Yeah, you had Mitchell going, so that's 5.
Yeah, I had Mitchell. Yeah. So we had
big
Harrison,
3, which is Harrison Jr., Neighbors, Odunze.
So the big 3, and Romeo, and then we had Worthy And then we had Mitchell. So that was 5. Did we have another one? No, that was it, right?
Worthy.
I said Worthy already.
Yes, that's 5. Yeah, we had 5.
Yes, that was 5. So we had 5 receivers. Quarterbacks was obviously the top 2, May,
5.
JJ,
We didn't have.
Penix,
Yeah, we didn't have Knicks going, so we had
and then
everybody
next.
but
So next, so that's 5. I think almost all the linemen went except Powers, right? Offensive linemen.
Jordan Morgan, Power. Yeah, we had Grant Barton in there, which is pretty.
Yeah, we had Barton in there too. So just some kind of tips and things for you guys who do bet the draft. We'll get some actual official picks and plays and see if we can make some money on the draft. But again, this is the last mock. We're not doing anymore. It's no
Fun exercise. It is. It is all but a fun exercise. And Nate keeps leaving me at the most crucial moments right now, guys. I swear, this is unreal. For all the people watching, I apologize. This is not on me. This is on some form of Fortnite streaming. But gay birds, you know what I'm saying? Fucking gay birds. And Stoughton University. It was a great mock. It was a great mock. Hate on JJ to the Giants, really? Why? Double Moss money, baby. That's what we need.
Man. Just kind of just dropped me all crazy. But again, thanks you for everybody. Thank you for everybody who joined the night. Everybody watching on Twitterverse. Saw a couple people coming here on YouTube. Shout out to Sharp jumping on the YouTube stream as well. For myself, I'm Moss Money. That's Ernie B. This is Money Pot Betting presenting Bird's Eye View coming up shortly, giving you Eagles and NFL 24/7. Just the way we like it. Football all day, every day. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.